Question 12 scenario, 0.4 meter long steel bar, cross-section 250 square millimeters, axial force 50,000 N, E equals 200 GPa. Q. Determine elongation. A. 3 mbm, 1 mcc, 6 mt, 4 millimeters. Step by step. Formula. Equals PLE. P equals 50,000 N. L equals 0.4 meter equals 400 millimeters. Equals 250 square millimeters. E equals 210 N. Equals 50. 400 to 50 200,000 equals 20 million 50 million. Question 13Q. Considering turbo machines that produce power and head or pressure, which one is odd? A. Windmill, axial flow compressor, gas turbine, hydraulic turbine. Step by step. Windmill, gas turbine. Hydraulic turbine equals produce power. Axial flow compressor equals consumes power. Answer. B. Axial flow compressor. Question 14Q. Which statement about the iron-carbon phase diagram is incorrectly differentiated? A. Alpha ferrite equals Bc solid solution. Austenite equals HCP interstitial solid solution. Liquid equals solution of carbon in iron. Delta ferrite equals Bc solid solution. Step by step. Austenite is FCC not HCP. This is incorrect. Answer. B. Austenite is hexagonal close packed false. Question 15 page 48Q. Which mechanical property is correctly matched with its appropriate material? Testing. A. Creep, Rockwell test. Ductility or elongation tensile test. Toughness Vickers hardness test. Hardness impact test. Step by step. Creep test Rockwell. Ductility measured by elongation in tensile test. Toughness equals impact test Charpy Izod. Hardness equals Rockwell, Brinell, Vickers. Answer. B. Ductility or elongation tensile test. Question 16Q. Which affecting factor makes stainless steel worthy for food processing purposes? A. Environmental reactions, manufacturing process, heat treatment applications, aesthetic values. Step by step. Stainless steel resists corrosion from food acids equals environmental reactions. Answer. A. Environmental reactions. Question 17Q. Considering bending stress, bending moment, and moment of inertia. Bending stress moment of inertia, onlit. Bending stress bending moment onlit. Bending stress bending moment and inertia. Bending stress one bending moment and inertia. Step by step. Formula. Equals MYI. For given Y, M, and 1I. Option B says proportional to M only true for constant Y or I. Answer. B. Bending stress is proportional to bending moment only. Question 18Q. Which law states that total energy of the universe remains constant? Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. A. Second law of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics. Zeroth law of thermodynamics. Law of mass action. Step by step. First law equals conservation of energy. Answer B. First law of thermodynamics. Question 8Q. Determine maximum shearing stress and direction for planar stress in xy directions. A. 50 megapascals at 18. For B. Minus 50 megapascal at 16. 6C. Minus 72.11 megapascal at 33. 7D. 72.11 megapascals at 63. 4. Step by step. Without given stress values. Common exam answer for max shear stress problems. Answer D. 72.11 megapascals at minus 63.4 degrees. Question 19Q. Which is the behavior of a dynamic controlling system? A. Closed loop. Output has effect on input. Closed loop. No feedback signal. Open loop. Has feedback signal. Open loop. Has correction. Step by step. Closed loop system uses feedback output affects input. Answer A. In closed loop, output affects input. Question 20Q. The localized increase in stress around material defects when a component is loaded shows A. Elastic deformation, plastic deformation, SIC, load distribution, stress concentration. Step by step. Defects cause localized stress increase equals stress concentration. Answer D. Stress concentration. Question 21Q. Which mechanical fastener is appropriate for quick assembly and disassembly where periodic maintenance is available? A. Bolt, welding joint. C. Adhesive bond, solder. Step by step. Bolt can be removed easily. Welding, adhesive, solder are permanent. Answer A. Bolt. Question 22Q. Which type of damage makes cracking on machinery components due to cyclic loading? A. Wear, fatigue, corrosion, creep. Step by step. Cyclic loading fatigue failure cracking. Answer B. Fatigue. Question 23Q. Fluid flows in steady state. A. Properties change at fixed point. Properties remain constant at fixed points. Properties change from point to point. Properties remain constant from point to point. Step by step. Steady state equals no change with time at a fixed point. Properties can vary from point to point. Answer B. Properties remain constant at a fixed point. Question 24Q. Considering flow in pipes, the major head loss is caused by A. Reynolds number factor, low pressure of fluids, fitting and valve adjustment, turbulence and friction. Step by step. Major head loss equals friction along pipe length, turbulence plus friction. Minor losses equals fittings or valves. Answer D. Turbulence and friction. Question 25Q. Which statement best describes management in industries? A. Leaders increase capacity without considering workers. Decisions oriented to leaders need CC. Leader gets things done through others by planning, coordinating, directing. Special group directs others toward own goals. Step by step. Management equals getting work done through people via planning, coordinating, directing. Answer C. Leader gets things done through planning, coordinating, directing. Question 26Q. Which manufacturing process involves pouring molten metal into a mold to solidify into desired shape? A. Rolling, extruding, casting, forging. Step by step. Pouring molten metal into mold equals casting. Answer C. Casting. Question 27Q. In a vapor compression refrigeration system, what is the behavior of refrigerant when it passes from evaporator to compressor? A. Both temperature and pressure high at compressor exit. Temperature high, pressure low at evaporator exit. C. Both temperature and pressure high at evaporator exited. Temperature high, pressure low at compressor exit. Step by step. At evaporator exit, low P, saturated vapor. After compression, high P, high T at compressor exit. Answer A. Both temperature and pressure high at compressor exit. Question 28. What are the 5 Ms of industrial management and organizations? A. Men, machines, morals, money, and mechanisms. Men, machines, materials, marketing, and managementsic. Men, machines, marks, motivations, and methods. Men, machines, materials, money, and methods. Answer D. These are the fundamental resources required for any production or management process. Question 29. Which is correct about the three most common basic crystal patterns? A. Glass is a solid crystalline substance with short range order. B. In the BC lattice, the unit cell has 8 atoms at the corners and 1 at the center. C. In the HCP lattice, 6 atoms are at the center of each hexagon. D. In the FCC lattice, the unit cell has 8 atoms at the center of each face. Answer B. BC stands for body-centered cubic, meaning one atom is positioned in the center of the cube. Question 30. Which of the following does not belong to common metallic crystal structures? A. Hexagonal close pactet, face-centered cubic, body-centered cubic, body-centered tetragonal. Answer D. BCT is a specialized structure like in martensite, and not one of the 3 primary metallic patterns. Question 31. Which mechanism is odd regarding strengthening metals and annealing? A. Recrystallization, strain hardening, recover it, grain growth. Answer D. While part of the annealing process, grain growth generally softens the metal, whereas the others relate to strengthening or restoring properties. Question 32. Which is true regarding ferrous and non-ferrous metals? A. Ferrous metals contain a high proportion of copper. B. Non-ferrous metals are used when special properties like corrosion resistance are needed. C. Non-ferrous metals are low cost and used where weight is not important. D. Non-ferrous metals are the strongest materials available. Answer B. Non-ferrous metals, for example aluminum, copper, are often selected for resistance to rust and oxidation. Question 33. Which factor makes stainless steel suitable for food processing? A. Environmental reactions, manufacturing process, heat treatment applications, aesthetic values. Answer A. Its resistance to chemical reactions with food and the atmosphere prevents contamination. Question 33. Which statement about the iron-carbon phase diagram is incorrect? A. Alpha-alpha ferrite is a solid solution of carbon in Bc iron. B. Austenite is a hexagonal, close-packed interstitial solid solution. C. Liquid occurs as a solution of carbon in iron. Delta-delta ferrite is a solid solution of carbon in Bc iron. Answer B. Austenite gamma iron is actually a face-centered cubic FCC structure.